The obstacle course, progressive group task, command task, arc group task, that will go there. Traditionally, there are only two techniques for the entire obstacle course. Besides normal bridge, keeping one from this side to that side, that's a normal bridge. The first and the foremost and the most important is the cantilever. All of you know what a cantilever is?
Yes, sir.
Tell me the physics of a cantilever. Then I will explain the rest. What's the physics of a cantilever? What does it require? Piche, it requires a load to hold on. In the front, it requires a pivot on which the plank or whatever will rest. That's a cantilever. Load, pivot. Load, pivot. Simple. समझ गए? Now, two of you, just get that plank and come here. Now here is the structure. How will you make a cantilever out of this? Obviously, this is the pivot. So pivot के ऊपर रखो plank को, bring it in front. Bring it in front, or front, or front, or front, or front, or front. Yeah, touch it onto that portion. Yeah. Now the pivot is in place, but the load is not there. Most useful helping material is rope. So make a load out of the rope. Just tie the rope on that portion there, round. Keep tying. Let it keep coming. Understood? So you've given an idea. Although you all are not great, nikalo. I'll tell you now how to tie a rope also. Open it. Otherwise, invariably you will keep touching the ground and you will keep losing your numbers for that. Whenever you're handling a rope, handle it this way. Okay? And bring the rope and fasten it out here. Or abhi lapeto. Now keep going round. So apne aap the bulge will come and it becomes your cantilever. I mean, you will slip down, but you've given an idea. Now, if this pivot is a little low and you stand there, it will touch the ground.
Yes, sir.
So what will you do to ensure that your cantilever portion in front is on top? Two things. Either increase the height of the pivot or reduce the load. The moment you reduce the load, this portion will come up. The moment you increase the height of the pivot, this portion will come up. Simple physics. Yes or no? And this will salvage you 80% of the time. That is using a cantilever. It could be with a rope, it could be without a rope. Let's take another example. You need a load, you need a pivot. Pivot is very obvious. So what's the load? Akal? Don't be struggling. Understand this physics. Load, pivot. Load, pivot. If you want to increase the height of the plank, increase the height of the pivot or reduce the height of the load. Understood? Simple? Okay. Now this pivot is not there. Pivot is not there. Do something with these two. What can you do? Don't always think that a plank has to be used plank. आगे रुकने में try करो. Again the same old principle. Put it inside. What is happening? There's a gap. There's a gap which is preventing your cantilever. What will you do to reduce the gap? Either put the bully there or coil the rope and put it there. Remember this physics. Reduce the height, increase the pivot. Reduce the height, increase the pivot. Period? Now, how do you use your rope? Just use a rope. Okay, that's a better form. In the class, I keep telling you guys, be yourself, be assertive, be a good communicator, and most important, earn brownies. You know what are brownies? Plus points. Giving a better idea than the other person is a brownie. Now I showed you how to coil. This is also you have coiled. So I will coil it like what you was trying to do. Is this better or the previous one better? Okay. And then the last part, I take the edge so that it doesn't touch the ground and I pull it up. Now I earned some brownie. You versus him, somebody's earned a little more brownie. So these are those little things that you should master yourself and perfect yourself while you guys are continuing with your ideas. Okay? Come to this one and make a cantilever here. It is not happening. Again, you have to increase the height. One option, okay, but there is a better option. You are now balancing on this and walking is a problem. Get the belly. Give me the plank. Keep the belly on this spike. No. Now put the plank. Reduce, increase. Reduce, increase. अभी भी नहीं हो रहा है. There's still a little gap. Use the rope. Use the rope by putting it out here and using the belly. Got it? So all these are your cantilever techniques. All these 5 examples that I gave you on any structure, they were cantilevers. Similarly, there's an obvious pivot. Keep the plank. Tie the rope. ज़्यादा कोई balancing problem है, उसको उस तरफ नीचे कर लो. Understood? Tie the rope there. Tie the rope means all you need to do is tie the rope in such a way that the rope protrudes 1 inch. तो एक के ऊपर एक के ऊपर एक के ऊपर एक बांध दिया. And even if it is not very secure, idea दे दिया ना. तो idea कितने number मिल जाएगा? That the GTO is okay, you are not balanced, fine. You will have now moved to the other place. Got it? So similar, when you want to get the last person, put it inside. नहीं हो रहा है. Do the same thing. Increase the height of the pivot or reduce the height of the load. You can do that also, so that this portion does not, right? So invariably, most of your start line access to the first structure will be a normal lever. Come. Place that plank out there. To reduce the distance, whatever it is. So what mistake would people invariably do is one fellow will stand, the other fellow will stand, and then a gentleman as fat as my photographer will walk on top और वो नीचे गिर जाएगा. So how do you, distribute the load? Get the belly. Place the belly horizontal. This side or more. Now 2 people stand on the belly, 2 people stand on the plank. So you have distributed the load to make it happen. Yes or no? You see it? So that's a few of the tips that I thought I should be giving you guys. And similarly, wherever you find anything. And the next is, how do you distribute your body weight? Right? You have a plank. Give me the belly. Now when you are balancing, you put the plank somewhere in that horizontal way, so the balancing becomes a problem, or it goes down. So wherever you have a chance, look at the structure and use the belly to distribute your body weight. If I have to move from place A to place B and say, okay, there was a white stone and you have to walk across that side or whatever little, distribute your body load on the belly by placing it there and then doing a semi-pole vault. Understood? So you have not put the weight, you have not put the 100% weight on your plank, because of which it will go down. You just about touch the plank to reduce the distance to less than 4 feet. Okay? So these are a few of the tips that you generally should appreciate in your. All of them are similar. Blue. It's a deliberate creation so that you cannot put the plank freely. So obviously put the belly or the rope and then put the plank on top of it so that it doesn't touch the blue portion. Okay, that's a deliberately created one. Now show me what did you do with this structure. With this structure, you have the plank and they come here. You have to go that side, let's say, or this side, whatever. वो डाल यार कैंटिलीवर के अंदर डाल, नीचे डाल, हो गया तेरा कैंटिलीवर?
Yes, sir.
Now the distance is more, the plank, put the belly. Times when you have to balance, you can't tie a plank on a belly and a belly on a plank because of the rule. But there are times that it doesn't balance too well. When you walk, slips. Again, your rope is a savior. Below the belly, just tie the rope in any form on top. Yeah, just leave it. Now you keep the belly on top of that rope. It gives a grip. You're not tied. You don't tie the belly and the plank. Now the chances of it slipping is that much lesser, isn't it? अभी आराम से जा सकता है. The other thing that you guys should remember is in any of these, if two people come here, then there is no science. It is rocket science. Then all the others will also come here. But what you have to remember is when you come to stage 1, you should be now clear as to how will you retrieve the last person. When two people come to stage 1, two things to be done. One, how will you retrieve the last person? And how will you move to the next stage? Because all 10 of you cannot stand here. It has to be staged in a staggered form. So what you have to do is, the moment two people come, now start thinking as to how you will retrieve the last person. At the same time, how you will move to the next stage. Because the last person and the helping material and that retrieval is as important as you people crossing over to the finish line. Understood? So that's the broad, and don't waste time just standing there and looking at Tamaja. Give idea, give this thing, and I do agree that all 10 of you cannot be at a place, but it gives fair amount of, because it is not one task. Progressive group task is 4 tasks. Degree of difficulty keeps increasing as you move from 1 to 4. So सबको chance मिलेगा. It is only he who does not want to have a chance will stand behind. समझ गया? Take your helping material and do one task, both of you all do, and then we will have a break. Right? So.